Welcome to See You in the Lobby, women's basketball's least filtered new video show, where we always bet on women, some of us a little better than others. I'm WNBA writer Matt Ellentuck. I'm here with WNBA All-Star Marissa Coleman, and we're going to start with one of our favorite topics.
Is it my favorite topic or yours? Because I have a little surprise for you today. Since,
what does that mean?
For my favorite segment where you always are getting. I think I have a new title to the co-host. I want to be the shot o'clock ambassador. So that's my new title. And I also have another surprise for you.
I don't like surprises.
You're not the only one with connections. No. I reached out to Kathy and she sent me this to you for now. Matt is 0-6 in our bet. Oh, so here you go.
This is so embarrassing.
That's for you.
Wait, can you? It's a little heavy.
Oh yeah, sorry. Let me help you.
Thanks.
Let me help you. Are you gonna be able to get that home? Should I find you help?
I don't. Maybe I have to hit up Plum. She might have some.
Yeah, she can help you. But
give me the damn shot.
Matt lost last week's bet. Well, both of them. But I said, because I'm just kind of know what I'm talking about, that Nneka was gonna have a double-double, and I do believe I said she's gonna have 15. She had 15 and 11. So here's your first one. Enjoy. While you're taking that out for number 2. And then, Matt, you want to tell the people why you lost your second bet?
I bet on the wrong Kelsey. We did a fun bet on Kelsey bet. Kelsey Mitchell did not outscore Kelsey Plum.
You know what? I'm going to pour it in your
Oh, I have to drink trophy? It out of that? It's even more depressing. Imagine betting on a 5-win team and losing.
Who knew the trophy would come in such handy? Well, Matt's 0-6. I'm happy about it.
Can we talk about a league we actually won in?
Let's talk about it.
Now that we just ruined the teammate ship. Anyway, Marissa and I finally played in a rec sports league, which is literally it's my favorite thing that we do at this company currently. For those who may not know, we're literally we're playing against random ass dudes who are leaving their 9 to 5. It's Marissa Coleman, Crystal Langhorne, Elena Beard will be with us for this week. So 3 WNBA All-Stars versus some randos. Do you want to talk a little bit about how that one went?
It was super fun. I had not put on basketball shoes since November 2020, so I did not know how this was going to go, but it was a lot of fun. Got the rust out in the first half, and then
what happened?
We were down 14 in the first half, though.
It was really embarrassing.
I was actually embarrassed and pretty upset.
Yeah, well, here's what actually happened, though. Someone talked a ton of shit to Marissa's cousin and called him too small, and that's when you just became a different person.
Insert the Jordan meme, and I took it personal. You can't call my cousin weak.
I have known you for a full year, and I've never seen you at that level of anger. Marissa literally takes the ball, hits back-to-back threes in about the same area of the court, and then for the 14th unanswered point, you cross the dude up and hit a mid-range fadeaway, and at that point, we're all screaming. It was so fun.
And I wanted to talk so much shit, but I'm I can't. I'm supposed to be doing this. I can't be the tool that's talking shit against people I'm supposed to be playing well against.
You peaked at the right moment because it's when the next teams were coming that were playing after us.
And they were
the crowd's there. The crowd's all of a sudden, I noticed a point where everyone's watching this happen and everyone's like, is it weird to take out your phone? That kind of moment. And then, you just see a bunch of people just crowding around the same areas, going like this, recording Marissa, taking a step back. It was a great time.
It was a lot of fun.
We have another game this week.
We have a game tomorrow.
We're down another All-Star, though. We don't have Crystal this week.
I know. And Elena's at Duke, so I hope she makes it back in time.
I don't know how we're ever going to win with
Matt, it's on you this week.
All right, today's show we have a lot of shit to talk, but I think that we can start with something wholesome because that's the nicer way to go about.
The wholesome stuff.
Can we talk about Syl?
Syl just brings a smile to my face. I'm scrolling through Twitter and I just see this picture of Sylvia with the bike helmet on, and she hosted a community bike riding event. And it really made me just
look at her smile. She's the purest soul I've ever met.
Syl is one of my favorite people in general. She's just so nice. You can't say a bad thing about her. In my opinion, the greatest center to ever play the game.
I think that's valid. She better have a job within the WNBA.
And look at her holding
I can't,
riding bikes, kissing babies.
she's literally the perfect freaking person. Okay, but now we can get into some real stuff.
Let's do it.
Let's get into some real stuff. Can we talk about the play of the week?
Chelsea Gray. It's just...
Who does that?
To have the confidence to do that. I'd probably behind the back and it would go to the trainer on the bench. But she behind the back pass. Chelsea,
was that on Lexi Hull? Oh.
Does that make you sad?
Oh, my poor
No, that's on Tiff Mitchell.
No, I think
the pass?
I think the inbound. Yeah, well, Lexi had no idea where it was going.
Who's expecting a behind-the-back pass and out-of-bounds pass?
No one.
And that's something you can't teach. That's just instinct. That's just instinct. And to Kelsey Plum, I mean, Chelsea got MVP of the Commissioner's Cup in the press conference. It was really cool to see Kelsey and Asia give Chelsea her props. There's a lot. Chelsea is a lot going on. But because I do agree with what Kelsey said, I think she is the best point guard in the world right now. She just doesn't get the credit because Plum's having a great year. It's Asia Wilson. There's just a lot of talent and personalities on the Aces. But she's a big part of why LA won. LA doesn't win without her. And to Kelsey's point, she always comes up in the clutch. If it's clutch in the end, we need a bucket or need a playmaker, I'm giving the ball to Chelsea. She's going to either make the right pass or she's going to get to the rim and make the right play.
I'm not even a Minnesota Lynx fan, and I am angry for Minnesota Lynx fans like dealing with Chelsea Gray's bullshit for the last decade plus. I mean, this is what she does. She's incredible.
She is incredible, and it's exciting to see her on a team where it's all meshing well. I'm not saying that it didn't do that in LA, but I just see a different Chelsea in this season. I think, again, playing for Becky Hammond, who also was a point guard, I think she's probably learning a lot from her and getting a lot of good advice.
I agree. Shall we answer the bell?
Let's do it. Answering the bell this week, giving a shout out to one of my good friends and my favorite point guard, other than KT that I've ever played with, Briann January. I think that she is a player that has been consistent throughout her entire career, has worked hard, and I think she's huge for Seattle. I'm reading an ESPN article by Michelle this week, just saying like her consistency and that tenacity she brings. And there was a quote from Stewie saying how excited she was when they were able to get her in free agency because she brings that toughness and that defense that sometimes they're lacking and that can get them over their hurdle. So it's her last season. Wanted to give her props, and I think she can help to make a strong playoff push.
Shout out Briann January. Great vet signing.
Let's cheers.
Yeah, cheers to that. Cheers to that before we get into a good one. The Los Angeles Sparks no longer have a 6'9" center. Liz Cambage is no longer with the team after that was a hell of a story from Chris Haynes.
Shout out to Chris Haynes.
Haynes.
He can give me some chuckles.
Because that was a lot between the goodbye dramatic exit, the jersey number taking from Amanda Zoe B, the force feeding her in the paint because she asked for the ball so much. Things weren't good in LA. Now she's gone.
They weren't good in LA. And for me, it's almost a little like poetic justice in that the beginning of the season, she's guaranteeing a championship and everything. And I'm just like, no, that's not going to happen. Everybody's like, oh, watch. And for her to be as vocal as she was when she signed with LA and then to leave before the season's over, that makes you question a lot. And I feel bad for the players that are still on the team because that's a huge part of what they were building around. Yep. In the beginning of the season, you're like, oh, we have Liz. They're building around that. They're bringing the team chemistry around that. Then she leaves, and then you read that article and you hear all the BS that they had to deal with in this season. Like, that's hard. And the W season's so short, where you can't really come back from those things. It's a few months. You can't come back from those things. So it's unfortunate for the Sparks, but I don't think we'll see Liz again, and I don't think we'll see her in a basketball jersey.
There's
again.
a very good chance that's the end of Liz Cambage's WNBA career. At least, like at this point, for Chris Haynes in that story to say that nobody's interested in Liz Cambage right now, especially while teams are like gutting for the playoffs. This is the time you would love to add a 6'9" center if you think that she would help the team. But yeah, I mean that really stinks. And I remember at the beginning of the season when LA made a bunch of free agency moves, and some people were like, this team's going to win a championship. And other teams were like, this team could be horrible. And it really felt like this year for LA was either going to be everything clicked and all of these like bold personalities were going to work out in one spot, or it was going to be a gigantic disaster. And like somehow it still could be both because they're still in the playoff race, which makes no sense. But they lose their head coach. They fired Derek Fisher midway through the year.
They should have.
and yeah, I mean, warranted. And they lose Cambage. But listen, credit to the Ogwumikes, right? Because they've helped keep this team steady for a long time now. But chaotically, they can be in the playoffs with all these things.
Which is very, very, very impressive. But at the same time, it's just I feel for those players. But I didn't think, when I saw the free agency signings, we're getting, I was like, this isn't going to work. And mainly because Derek Fisher was at the head of that. He had no W experience prior to getting the head coaching job. And you have to be good in the W at managing personalities, especially when you have a Liz Cambage, who is a huge personality. And then you have vets that have been here for a while. I knew that experiment wasn't going to work. But a lot of people have a lot of respect for Fred. And I think they can make a playoff push. I don't think they will, but I think they could.
I have another question before we hop off this, and it's about the terminology that's being used in the breakup. And we've used this with Tina Charles' breakup as well. But the WNBA is the only league that calls their, essentially what is like a buyout. They're calling it a contract divorce, and that's how it's written in the CBA. What do you think about when you hear the term contract divorce?
Hashtag that's so W.
That is incredibly W.
There's just some things the league does to be different when it's like basketball is basketball. Let's just keep it the same across the board. I mean, I'm not mad at divorce for us because we have something to talk about.
It's become a bit, yeah.
It's like divorce, broken family. It's another 2 broken families this season. We weren't anticipating that. I think it's silly because 2, there's so many questions. What's a contract divorce? What does it mean? And just it causes confusion when there doesn't need to be any.
Yeah, it's very strange. And we've had a bunch of them this year, like 5 or 6 of them. We did mention the Sparks. The playoff race is kind of interesting, right? We've got 5 teams that are already locked who are clearly way better than the rest of the crowd. And then you have 6 teams out of 12, literally half the league, fighting for the final 3 playoff spots. All of those teams are under 500. What do you make of these last couple of weeks?
I think this last week is going to be pretty important. I was looking at some of the matchups, and a lot of these teams are, let me pull them up, playing each other. Like Phoenix is playing Connecticut twice. Those are going to be tough games, and they're playing New York. Dallas is playing Chicago, Vegas, Indy. Minnie's playing Seattle, Atlanta. LA has New York twice, Atlanta and Washington. They might have the toughest this week, in my opinion. Then Atlanta, Indy, LA, Minnie, and then New York, LA twice, and Phoenix. So I think the New York, LA matchups this week are gonna
be spicy.
Are gonna be spicy, intense. If I had to pick, I think LA and New York are the ones that I don't think
they don't make the cut.
I don't think they make the cut.
Can I be like a little toxic in terms
I love
of this?
it. Let's go.
I'm gonna say, I think that the battle to find out who makes the playoffs, sure, that'll be good fun. It doesn't matter. Like these teams that are making the playoffs, they're all gonna finish below 500, which like, come on. I mean, I know I'm saying this right after the Chicago Sky went 500 last year and won the championship, but that was a different team. I don't think there are any teams like that in the league right now who are going to finish at that level.
You don't think New York's going to make that push?
No, I don't see it. Listen, I think Minnesota can scare teams. I think that Minnesota is definitely a team who's better than their record says. They also had a hell of a last month of July. So I think Minnesota is a team I wouldn't want to see in the first round. Everyone else, I don't know. Like, they're probably going to get washed.
See, I don't know if... I would pick Phoenix as a team I don't want to see in the first round. Skylar's been playing out of her mind.
She has.
Shout out to Skylar. Skylar's been playing so well. And, I mean, you have Taurasi. Like, her leadership, she's been there before, and we've talked about it.
We're not doing those one-and-done games anymore, though. She thrived in the one-and-done games.
She did thrive in the one-and-done games, but... if she gets hot, like we know how DT is. She hits a couple, it's over. So I'm going to go with...
she's going to have to play some defense in the series.
She will have to. I'm just going to, just to spice it up a little bit. I think Phoenix would be the one that I personally wouldn't want to see. And it just seems like Skylar always plays with a chip on her shoulder. She's out to continually prove that she's one of the best and that she can lead a team. And I think this is a prime opportunity. And I think she knows that this is a prime opportunity for her to show that she can lead a team in all aspects and carry them in the playoffs.
I think that's fair. I do think the one playoff situation that is more interesting than the rest to me is figuring out who is going to get the number 3 seed. Because the WNBA playoff format is different once again this year. I feel like we change it literally every year and I'm having to relearn it. But no more one-and-done games. We used to have one-and-done in the first round and one-and-done in the second round. Now it's just 8 teams make it. Best of 3 in the first round, best of 5 in the semis, best of 5 in the finals. So that means no more like double buys that the number 1 seed used to get and no more single buys for the other teams. What that means is Number 1 is going to play a team that isn't so good. Number 2 is going to play a team that isn't so good. Number 3 is going to play a team that also is probably below 500. Number 4 and 5 have to play each other. So that could be Seattle and Washington, who just had a back-to-back games in DC that we both went to. Nobody wants that spot because you're going to have to play a really good team in a best of 3. You think that Connecticut keeps their way and they keep that number 3 seed?
I don't know, honestly. I think it's tough to call between those teams. I think Chicago, Vegas, I think 3, 4, and 5 are going to be tough to call. I wouldn't be mad at a Seattle DC matchup.
Those are fun games this weekend.
I wouldn't be mad at it. I don't know. I'd have to see the complete schedule. I've only looked at the last week, but it's exciting though.
Yeah, that is the more exciting chase to look at, in my opinion, is seeing who's going to get that number 3 seed, because having to play a really good team in the first round sucks.
I agree with you on that, because to your point, those teams that are fighting for
that's why I like the one and done in the first round, but I know that wasn't popular.
No, I don't like the one and done.
I like the one and done in the first round.
That screwed us one year, and I don't.
Wait, who did you lose to?
Why you gotta bring up old stuff, man?
You brought it up.
You're right, I did, but I just Catch's final season. We had Phoenix, and
you had a Taurasi one and done.
We had a Taurasi one and done. How many? We were the higher seed at home. At home in Indy, Catch's potential last game. And
was this one of the years they were the 8 seed? Was it 8-5?
They
were 8 a lot of the time and won.
I think I can't remember, but I just remember it was so heartbreaking. The refs may or may not have screwed us a couple plays a couple times, but nonetheless we lost at home, single elimination. I just don't single elimination in basketball and professional level. In my opinion, was dumb from the beginning. Anybody can beat anybody on a given day.
Very true.
But who can beat somebody in a series? Indy could mess around and beat Chicago or Vegas in a game, but can they beat them in a series? No.
Can they?
Would Phoenix have beat us in a series? No. But okay, moving on, because now I'm about to take this bottle to the head.
Let's talk about some dramatic portions of this week where we're heading toward the end of the season. Teams are getting a little fed up maybe with their own situations. I think the first one we really need to talk about is Nneka. I don't think I've ever seen Nneka lose her temper a little bit, but she did.
I've been able to play with Nneka. I've known her for a while now. She is always so even-keeled and level-headed. So when I saw this, I'm like, have the sparks broken, Nneka? Please, no, because that's just not in her character. But when I see this, that's frustration. That's the buildup of this season. And Nneka is such a hard worker. Obviously, what she does with us as the president of the Players Association, she has a lot on her shoulders, and she's the ultimate professional in my opinion. So when you see something like this, she's just fed up. That's frustration in her. So I'm starting the campaign to free Nneka from LA, to get her out of there.
The Fisher Cambage year was too much.
She's had a great season. She's been MVP season.
MVP
Nneka.
combo for sure.
And it's just unfortunate that the season's going the way it is, and I think she's fed up.
It's wild. It's truly wild. I was very surprised to see her stay in LA, especially after Candace and Chelsea left, because she could have gone anywhere, competed anywhere, and she did decide to stay home. And I wonder if she's regretting it a little bit.
She could be, but I don't know. There's just, on paper, the team looks good, so maybe she had faith in it. Maybe she had faith that the organization was going to. I mean, Nneka's been there her entire career. Nneka has done so much for the league and the organization. I can only imagine that she thought that the Sparks organization was going to rally behind her and build a good team around her and get her a coach that knew what
it is. I wonder
they were doing.
If I'm Nneka, you get your best out of Nneka when she's playing small ball 5. So to bring in someone like Cambage, I was almost I don't know if that's the right pairing for Nneka to be at her best. And Nneka's proven herself at an MVP level still, so I wonder if they rethink things this offseason.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens, but I'm starting the campaign.
Back to, once again, I am obsessed with Skylar Diggins-Smith this year. Our favorite clown.
Skylar, we're not calling you a clown. We don't need her coming.
Oh, please, no.
You don't need her coming at us.
Our favorite clown emoji user.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm not calling her the clown. Literally screaming to be taken out of a game that she played really bad in, and she's been really good all season, but she shot horribly in this game. She misses 1-3 at the end of the fourth quarter, and she's immediately like, "Get me out of this game!" And you hear it so clearly.
It's amazing. I love how she gives zero. You know what? But I mean, again, they're down however many points with a minute and a half. Why is your best player on the team right now still in the game?
Yeah, like
you're making a playoff push. You still are very much in the running to not just slide into 8th place, but to be a higher seed. Why do you have the best player on your team in right now? You just why risk it? Why risk the injury or anything? So, but please take me out.
I listen again. Skylar, we appreciate your entire 2022 season. We've had so much fun watching it. Let's add it to the record books. We got a Diana Taurasi 30-plus point game. First player to do it at age 40 or older. Are we surprised?
No. Diana's Diana. I'm not surprised. How many players have played 40 on though?
Definitely not many.
I think Delisha Milton-Jones. Mm-hmm. Did Tina Thompson? Or did she? I think she might have been 39.
I can double check, but can you think of anyone else? I mean, Sue now, but Sue's not scoring 30.
How old was Marion Jones when Tulsa Shock brought her on the roster? I think she might have been close.
Yeah, Tina was 38. So listen, not many players have done it, but it speaks to her longevity.
Oh, no, for sure.
And she's going to keep going. This is not her last year as far as we know.
Yeah, I hope it's not her last year. So many things in taking consideration with Phoenix this year. So I hope it's not her last year, but we'll see.
Let's get even messier. We've got what seemed to become a weekly segment on this show, which is
number 9.
Which is who decided to mess around with number 9 this week, and this week is Chennedy Carter.
I'm here for it. Chennedy, appreciate it, because so many players want to do that. Like, number 9 is just OD annoying. And she talks all this shit, and Chennedy just bodied her. Here you go. Take this.
Which, we're on the free Nneka. Free Chennedy. Play Chennedy more minutes.
You're a big Chennedy fan.
Big Chennedy guy, yeah. And listen, this inspires me enough. If I'm Kennedy's teammate, I'm fired up after a play like that.
Yeah, I would be. And then to throw the ball back. That's the thing that annoys me about number 9. Is you brought all this on yourself, so you don't expect people to retaliate?
No, she had to have known it was coming. But yeah, it was funny. It was very funny.
Here for it. Look, I have another award. Let's give it to.
We're giving another award.
Let's give it to Chennedy.
To Chennedy.
endless mini trophies.
All right, let's do some bets. Let's do some bets for next week.
All right, you go first, my friend, because you're so good at this game.
Yeah, I mean, clearly this segment goes really well for me every week, but I have one that it's going to win because I deserve a W in this game.
Do you?
I do. I think Phoenix, or we're going to go with the Phoenix-Connecticut game that's on Thursday. I think it's an ESPN game. Phoenix sucks at offensive rebounding this year, obviously. They don't have their starting center. But Brianna Jones, Jonquel Jones, 2 of the best in the league. I think the 2 Joneses grab more offensive rebounds than the entire Mercury team.
The entire
Mercury team, that's my Thursday bet.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
You?
All right. I'm going to go with AT with a double-double. I mean, number 9 is going to be guarding her.
I hate rooting against players I love.
Sorry. Go Terps. But I have it with a double-double. Do you want me to take a little further?
Does it specify what categories?
That's very true.
Specify what categories.
That is very true.
It could be any.
And points and rebounds.
Points and rebounds, double-double. Okay. The fun news this week is that you can actually take our bets live on betonwomengame.com. You can go and actually wager on Marissa and I's bets in a free-to-play version. It's a lot of fun. I think you should do it.
If I were you all, though, don't take his advice for bets because, again, he's 0-6. He's not too good at this game.
I try my hardest, though, and that's really what matters.
You do. A for effort.
And I get to take a tequila shot on a Monday afternoon.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Why is there tequila still left in it?
Poured it in the trophy.
All right, well, you got to finish that. No?
All right. we're signing off the show with me taking the final half of this. Good luck to everybody in the Bet on Women game, and
don't listen to his advice.
Don't listen to my advice.